Wow, I really don't know what to say, except I think I have about, Marge only had 4 pages, I think I have about 12, Marge, so I'm going to take maybe a little longer. It's hard for me to believe that I'm standing in front of this group of aviation professionals ready to be the chair of the best airport association there is, the voice of airports, ACI North America. I am humbled by your confidence in me to lead your association in the next year. With your support, I know that we can make a difference and a positive impact on several fronts. My 25 years in the industry transcends airports from large to small, and therefore I believe I bring a broad perspective to the issues that face us. I am passionate about airports, and aviation is just not a job for me, even though some would say I'm a workaholic, but rather something I wake up every day looking forward to meeting the next challenge that will help move our industry forward. I truly love what I do. So for me, 2013 provides an opportunity not only to continue to build on the excellent work and accomplishments of this year, but also to hopefully forward some new initiatives and direction. Let me touch on a few of the items I see on the horizon. At our meetings here in Calgary, you have heard a lot about the need for an updated long-term solution to the challenges associated with funding our nation's airports, not a continuance of the outdated standards that no longer really serve the best interest of our industry. For the last 5 years, I have worked closely with ACI-NA staff on FAA reauthorization, with our main focus being on increasing the PFC and maintaining an adequate AIP funding level. With the passage of the new FAA bill earlier this year, while absolutely not providing everything we desired, it did give us an opportunity to step back, thoroughly evaluate our positions, and set a course of action for the future that would get us to where we needed to be. As such, last year, as Stella has already mentioned, we decided as an organization that it was time for a paradigm shift. And I would like to recognize Stella, and in particular also Mark Reese, for leading that effort. Our Airports for the Future campaign will let us begin laying the foundation for a change in conversation over the next 3 years so that in 2015, local business leaders and politicians from across the United States will become airport advocates, standing together with industry officials, eager to make the case for more local control over our airport's financial destiny because of the economic benefits and jobs this new system will generate. The message of local control includes airports migrating airline agreements that truly put the airport operator in the driver's seat when it comes to making the tough decisions on airport development. While we always need to work with our airline partners, airports must be able to move forward with critical capital improvement projects without unnecessary interference. This year, I plan to continue the great work that has already begun to strengthen awareness and understanding of the vital role airports play in national and local economies, with an eye towards getting us prepared to begin the policy debate. But I need your help. Airports, large and small, commercial service and general aviation, must come together in a unified way to spread the word to our citizens, business leaders, and elected officials the critical role that airports play in the economic vitality of our nation. In the U.S., we have always strived to lead the way for the world to follow, but instead, with respect to airport development and innovation, we have fallen behind. Without the best airports in the world, our communities and nation cannot compete in this global economy we face today and well into the future. I also plan to work closely with ACI-NA staff in their efforts to eliminate the alternative minimum tax penalty on private activity bonds for airports. This has been a priority item for ACI-NA over the last several years, and it will continue to be a high priority until we achieve a successful result. Due to reduced federal funding, airports are turning more and more to the bond market for financing of construction projects. With the majority of the bonds being subject to the AMT, this has resulted in investors demanding a rate premium to compensate for the additional tax liability. This results in higher interest rates, which correlate to higher infrastructure project costs that must be paid by airports, airlines, and ultimately our customers, the passengers. We must get an AMT fix and do so soon. I would challenge all of you to educate your legislators and community stakeholders about how major airport improvements are funded and the challenges inherent in the current federal system. One of the key findings thus far as we have surveyed local communities, is that even though airports across the country have extensive networks and relationships and may be well placed for additional outreach, such community relationships were not necessarily indicative of a stakeholder knowledge about the facts regarding airport funding. It's time to narrow that gap. I also could not be a bigger advocate for the need to further advance our approach to aviation security by leveraging our strategic partnerships with DHS and TSA. I fully recognize the need to address new threats, but we must also focus on how we want this system to look and function in the future. And risk-based security programs and regulations are the key. I applaud recent efforts by the TSA to develop a risk-based system that not only provides effective aviation security, but focuses more on people and less on things. TSA's plan to expand a successful known traveler program, PreCheck, to 35 airports in the United States by the end of the year gives me great hope that we are moving in the right direction. Increasing the efficiency of the facilitation process at U.S. and Canadian pre-clearance airports also remains an important priority for ACI-NA. This year, we pushed for program improvements to the Nexus Trusted Traveler Program, which were ultimately enacted. These changes streamline international travels for members of the binational program shared between the U.S. and Canada. But there's still work to do. We will continue to urge CBP to expand the Global Entry Trusted Traveler Program to additional airports, encourage TSA to utilize Global Entry and Nexus as the primary enrollment platforms to expand the eligibility for PreCheck population, and push TSA and Transport Canada to develop mutually recognized trusted traveler programs as envisioned in the Beyond the Border Action Plan, so that trusted travelers on both sides of the border can take advantage of an expedited screening process. But even the best international trusted traveler programs won't work unless we have the necessary staffing to make the systems both efficient and effective. ACI-NA has been working with Airlines for America to develop best practices that can be employed by CBP to improve the facilitation process. I am pleased that this new alliance has now been expanded to include the International Air Transport Association. Clearly, this is an issue where it makes sense for the three organizations to work closely together for the benefit of our mutual international passengers. I realize that in this time of fiscal austerity, there will be many hurdles to develop an effective airport security and facilitation system for the future, but I am confident that by working with our federal and industry partners, we will be successful. I also see the need to set forth a plan and help improve ACI's longer-term strategic business interests by taking advantage of the knowledge and talent we have within our airport and associate membership. We will be forming a number of focus groups during the upcoming year to help us ensure that our services, conferences, educational offerings, and other programs and products are the best they can be. I truly believe that through collaborative discussions with ACI-NA staff, airports of all sizes, and our business partners, we can re-energize our offerings and ensure we are meeting your needs. I am honored to be the first chair, I guess I need to give up that old title, of the newly constituted ACI-NA, with our Canadian colleagues now fully and more properly integrated into ACI-NA. The new and more productive structure better serves our Canadian members while retaining the many core strengths that our U.S. members expect. Issues such as economy, security, facilitation, the environment, overregulation bring our airports even closer together across borders. The changes we are making will strengthen ACI-NA and our ability to serve all of our members. A major goal that I have for this year is to work with the Executive Committee, the Board, and ACI-NA staff to develop a 5-year strategic business plan that will be a living document to be shared and supported by those moving into leadership roles with ACI-NA in the future. This process will help provide the ongoing continuity of focus and direction that I believe ACI-NA requires to be successful in meeting the needs of the association and its members. As the voice of airports, we need to be visionary. And while sometimes it is easy to get caught up in the here and now, I believe it is imperative that we begin to think and act in a much greater strategic fashion while ensuring the more routine items continue to get accomplished. Before I conclude, I need to recognize the people who allow me to participate on a national and international level and support me in my career, several of whom are here today. First, my high school sweetheart and dear wife of 32, soon to be 32 years, September 26th to be exact, Lisa. My commission members, several of who are here today, and my staff. Without this support base, there would be no successes, as I am fully aware that you cannot be successful without a great team behind you. And I will be leaning heavily on my team as I assume my role as chair of ACI-NA. Also, to many of my friends and colleagues in the room today, thank you for your unwavering support and guidance over the years. You have been inspirational to me, and in many ways I have learned much of what I know from you. Finally, thank you for your support of ACI-NA. It is your association. Please be involved and help me to lead this great airport association during 2013. Thank you.